This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLesio and Kenny Bergamy.
All right, to quote the great Fred Rogers, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and as always, a beautiful day when we get to share a week's worth of hard work with you.
So with that said, welcome to another Farm Monitor. Let's get things started with the rundown. Taking action for America's local food. That is the motto of the Conservation Fund, and now a new program within the fund is making it easier than ever to break down barriers. Also on the show, blueberry season is here, and so is MARCIA CROWLEY with recipes using Georgia blueberries, including homemade bread like no other. And then later, as we close out Mental Health Awareness Month, a special story from the Heartland with the hopes of spreading the message that it's okay not to be okay. These stories and so much more start right now on the Farm Monitor.
Given the exorbitant cost of starting up a new farm, it's no wonder the average age of farmers in the U.S. is approaching 60. With land being one of the major expenses, especially around developing cities like Atlanta, the Conservation Fund has launched a new program aimed at making it more accessible to beginning farmers and those looking to expand. It's called the Working Farms Fund. And to find out more on who it benefits and its long-range outlook, the Monitor traveled to Newton County and sought out the expertise of Working Farms Fund Associate Christian Varza.
The Working Farms Fund is an innovative, first-of-its-kind pilot program that we're running here in Georgia. It is a program that breaks down barriers to farmland ownership and creates farmland access opportunities for farmers in the greater Atlanta metropolitan area. We're going to transition more land in the next 10 years than we did in the last 30 years. And that farmland is under threat of being developed. It's under threat of not being maintained as successful working farmland.
The biggest roadblock was land. Land is expensive, especially in the Atlanta area. I mean, I've farmed all across Georgia, so I know there is, other options, but it's so far from any major markets, it's hard to make that business sustainable financially.
The Conservation Fund steps out and makes a purchase of a property, one of the critically threatened farmland properties, and we buy the land, we immediately match a farmer to that property, and they begin leasing the property in a lease-to-own format with us.
The startup costs surrounding a farm, for us, we're doing a 20-acre farm and we're looking to raise about $500,000 for the next 5 years. If we had to purchase the land that we're working on, that number would be closer to $1.1, $1.2 million. So creating access to land is a huge benefit for us as small business owners, as folks starting a business, as folks starting a farm.
At the end of the process, we use something called a permanent conservation easement, which results in removing the development rights on the property and ensures that the farmer can afford the property on the back end of our ownership. The farmer then buys the property directly from the Conservation Fund, while the conservation easement remains on the property to ensure that that property remains in farming forever.
We wanted to support agricultural communities because you can see it as you go around Georgia, that we are really at risk of losing one of the most defining characteristics of our rural landscape, and that is the family farm.
So we anticipate that in the next 20 years, we are going to have 200 farms operating in the rural metro Atlanta area, delivering food to our communities through programs like the program we have with Emory University, which is a partnership that ensures that farmers in our program are able to sell directly to Emory University.
One of the things with the COVID pandemic is we've seen the vulnerability of our supply chain, and the farther out that goes, the more vulnerable it becomes. So it's really wise for us to think about how can we purchase locally enough food for our hospitals and our campus cafeterias. All of these institutions together, if all of us pool our procurement power, I mean, think about what we could do in terms of supporting a new generation of farmers.
Meantime, the planting season for peanuts is now in full swing after weather delays kept the majority of producers from getting into their fields. But as John Holcomb reports, things appear to be going well, and producers are hoping that trend continues.
Spring has sprung here in Georgia, which means farmers are busy in their fields getting their 2021 peanut crop in the ground. One of those farmers is Randy Bryan, a producer in Irwin County. He says that things are going well now that the weather is finally working with them.
We had a big rain event a few weeks ago that we had peanut lane ready to go and ready to plant, and we had up to 8 inches of rain in a lot of our fields, so it put us behind somewhat from where we wanted to be. But I usually try to start about this time every year, second week in May, and so according to that, we're still on schedule.
Producers are hoping for a good year, especially after having some issues with the seed the past couple of seasons. But according to experts, this year's seed is already doing better.
The biggest issue was the weather. 2019, the production season 2019 was so severe. In other words, we had a lot of hot days above 90, 95 degrees. We had a lot of dry weather. When we got into harvest season, it dried off, and was real hot. Perfect for harvest, but it turned out to be not so good for the seed. So typically, like this year, we're starting in the 85 to 95% range on our germination on our seed. Last year, we were begging to get to 80, and it was because of that 2019 seed. And so we started off bad there. Then we had some bad time, during planting. I'm talking about weather-related, some other issues, and so that caused some problems. But throughout 2020, we had a pretty decent year. I mean, we had some weather issues, but the quality of the seed, the grades, the quality overall coming out of the field looked a lot better.
It's because of that and price outlooks that producers like Randy are optimistic about this growing season and are just hoping things continue to go well throughout the year.
You always got to be optimistic, we just got to depend on the good Lord to give us a good crop, give us what we need, and go on from there. Just keep moving on. But I don't want to repeat 20. I really don't want to repeat 18 because we had the storm. But we didn't have storms last year, but we had low prices early, and I guess that was probably as bad as a storm in some ways. But prices look better. That's a good thing. And we just see what the year holds.
Of course, a good crop is only possible if growers do what they need to do, which is why Mumford says it's best that producers stay on top of things.
We need to do everything that we can, and make sure, one, we get a good stand. And if we can get a good stand, that's the highest yield potential we have from that point on. We got to maintain that yield potential. We got to manage our weeds. We got to manage the diseases, insects, whatever comes along that is needed. We've got to put the crop, put it on the crop and hopefully do a good job.
Reporting in Ocilla for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Well, hope you like blueberries, cause up next it is a blueberry smorgasbord. Blueberry bread, blueberry salsa, even a blueberry marinade. Meals from the field when the Farm Monitor continues.
You may not have seen us before, but you've seen our work. We are problem solvers, we are change makers, and we are your neighbors. We are the United States Department of Agriculture Food and Nutrition Service, and we feed America. Our programs help increase food security and reduce hunger among vulnerable families, adults, and children from coast to coast across small towns, cities, territories, including Puerto Rico and tribal lands. At the Food and Nutrition Service, our employees develop policy, ensure integrity through oversight, and provide nutrition education. Our jobs include program specialists, data analysts, nutritionists, financial and human resources, and IT specialists, as well as management professionals. The Food and Nutrition Service programs touch all age groups, from infants to seniors. We partner with universities, farmers and farmers markets, and a host of nonprofit organizations to provide nutritional options and education to those in need. We work with organizations to develop skill sets to help people gain employment, allowing them to prosper today and in the future. Our jobs also take us to states and territories affected by floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, fires, and other disasters. Our role is to ensure all people have the food assistance they need when disasters strike. Right now, we are looking for talented and dedicated people to join us in making the food and nutrition service a safe, fair, diverse, and rewarding place to work. We want our employees to love coming to work every day as they help us move our country forward. You can be assured that the food and nutrition service is a place where every job matters and every employee counts. Come find your calling, your place, here with us at the United States Department of Agriculture Food and Nutrition Service.
Well, a check of the calendar, you will see that summertime is quickly approaching. That, of course, means blueberry time here in Georgia. Really, any time is a good time for blueberries. I love blueberries,
I love
Marcia.
blueberries.
And this month, in celebration of blueberry season, we have some phenomenal blueberry recipes to share with you. As always, my good friend Marcia CROWLEY. And let me just say, since we are kind of in baseball season as well,
Oh, yeah.
she knocked this one out of the park like she
please.
always does. So what you got for us?
Okay, first thing is a blueberry bread, which is kind of different. So in this bowl, I've got the dry ingredients, which are the usual suspects: flour, sifted, salt, baking powder, a little bit of, I said salt, didn't I? Okay, we're going to add to that, this is a cup of sugar, 2 eggs, and a little bit of oil. Add that to the dry ingredients. Like I said, this is pretty basic, quick bread. The difference is, of course, the blueberries that are in there. Mix that up pretty good. You don't want to over mix it by any stretch. You just want all these ingredients moistened. And this bread is, you can freeze it. It makes 2 loaves. So, or if you have the big long loaf that's like the size of a loaf of bread, it would make 1, but I don't know any.
Or a big old meatloaf.
Or a big old meat. I don't know any home cook that has that size meatloaf pan, but or loaf pan, but I know I didn't. All right, we're going to act like that's all mixed up pretty good. Yeah, that looks good. We're going to add to that a cup of Georgia blueberries. Gently stir those in. A cup of chopped Georgia pecans. And you're going to pour these into 2 loaf pans, which I know everyone knows how to do. And you're going to bake it at 350 for about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on your oven. You might need to keep checking it because of all the sugar in there. It's going to brown pretty quickly. And then test it with a cake tester or a toothpick to make sure the center is done. And like I said, this is really good. We serve it with honey butter.
You're making me real nervous with that elbow there.
Oh, what?
Now
You
is
think I'm
your
gonna hit you with
chance
it?
to knock me
I know,
out
I
that
didn't
you've
even
been
think
wanting
of
to
that.
do for 8 years.
Yeah, that's a good
Boy, you
idea,
could just
Roy.
slip.
Ray. Why should I call you Roy? I don't even know a Roy. I think we're tired.
We are.
Okay, there's the blueberry bread. And like I said, that's really good. We can serve that with honey butter, which I will put that on your website, the recipe for honey butter. All right, this is a blueberry strawberry salsa. Cup of Georgia blueberries. A cup of chopped strawberries. And we've done salsas before, but not the combination of these 2. 2 tablespoons of fresh mint. A quarter of a chopped onion. Vidalia works great in this because you're not going to cook it. And balsamic vinegar, and that's a quarter of a cup. And you're going to serve this with grilled chicken and I'm going to make a marinade for that in just a minute. But this is really good. It tastes really fresh. You could really serve it on anything.
It's amazing to me the versatility of a blueberry as well.
I know.
You know what I like doing? I like getting the sugar-free Cool Whip, just putting that in a bowl, and then mixing blueberries in that.
Oh yeah, and they're so easy to use. You don't have to chop anything. But that's really good. And like I said, you're going to serve that with this marinade. This is a cup of low sodium soy sauce.
Soy sauce.
And if you use the full sodium, it's almost too salty.
Okay.
So use the low sodium. All right, you're going to add to that 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. You can tell that's fresh because the seeds are right there. 2 tablespoons of sriracha, and of course you could cut back on this, but it's really not too spicy at all. 1/4 cup of brown sugar. This is fresh minced garlic and ginger. And the ginger really kicks this up a little bit. And a tablespoon of honey. Mix all that up. Marinate your chicken at least 30 minutes up to overnight when it really picks up the flavor. And I usually put the marinade in a plastic bag so it fits well in the refrigerator. Right. You can shake it up, and that's it. You grill your chicken any way you like it with this on there, and it's good, really good with the salsa.
So 3 quick, easy recipes. We got the blueberry marinade, we got the blueberry salsa, and we've got the blueberry bread, all of which you can find on our website by going to farm-monitor.com, scrolling up to the top, clicking on recipes. Be prepared to spend at least, I don't know, 4 or 5 days on there looking through our recipes.
That website, when I have to go to that pretty much every time we do this to see what I've done and what I haven't done. It's really easy to use.
It is. It's good stuff. Everything is there for you, and in detail. Marcia sends that stuff out to us every month. So again, thank you so much for that. Thank you for doing this again as always. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next month. Enjoy your meals.
Ray, Marcia, thanks so much. Up next, a look ahead to the long-awaited return of the annual GFB Young Farmer and Rancher Leadership Conference at Jekyll Island. Well, no doubt this will be a reunion like no other. Canceled last year due to COVID, the annual GFB Young Farmer and Rancher Leadership Conference returns to Jekyll Island July 14th through the 17th. Plenty of spots still available, but the deadline to secure your place at the big celebration is June 1st. Brianna Berry, Leadership Programs Coordinator for Georgia Farm Bureau, says the gathering will once again be a chance to foster and further develop that community bond that YF&R is known for.
For me, I'm most excited, obviously, about being in person, but I think that's something that attendees can look forward to as well, that they get to reconnect with those people within their community, within their industry that they have and share so much in common with, and really develop as individuals. And there's just something about being in person and getting to see someone face to face and have a conversation that really helps to foster and further develop relationships.
Brianna, thank you so much. Her first year on the job. Welcome aboard. Again, June 1st, your deadline to register. Well, finally this week, America's farmers. They account for nearly all of the country's food supply while contributing on average $133 billion annually to the gross domestic product. Sadly, though, due to uncontrollable factors such as extreme weather, low commodity prices, and financial loss, they're also more prone to suicide.
But a new program by American Farm Bureau called the Farm State of Mind campaign is encouraging conversations about mental health and sharing the message that it's okay not to be okay.
Your value is more than the markets. It's more than your acres and more than your livestock and more than your bank account. We are humans too. We are community members, we're volunteers, we're creative, we're problem solvers. There's so much to us. When a family friend of ours passed away to suicide, it was a real eye-opener for us. When we were in line at the visitation, people said, you know, what happened? What was it that caused this? And as a former counselor, I knew that it wasn't one thing. Suicide doesn't start at the end there. There's one thing that causes it. That's not how it works. It's a culmination of things. It starts as stress and it continues as excruciating and chronic stress or depression or anxiety, and it just builds. We had a new baby and a not even 2-year-old at the time, and we really took that opportunity to look in the mirror and say, you know, we're experiencing a lot of stress right now, too much stress right now, to the point where it's becoming out of control, and we probably need to do something about it. That was the time for us that we really made the decision to start talking more, start getting some professional help, which is really hard to do. It's really hard to rip that Band-Aid. But in doing so and making some major changes in our own home, we know that our outcome was well worth that time and those efforts, because we know that we were going down a path that wasn't going to be good.
As a farmer and rancher in North Carolina, I know firsthand the stresses and the struggles that come with this way of life. I've seen it affect good friends, and I've lost good friends. I don't want to lose anyone else. It's time to end the stigma around mental health. And we can only do that when we come together and we keep spreading the message that it's okay to not be okay.
The stigma in rural communities is really troublesome because what it does is it keeps us isolated. It keeps us quiet. We don't want to talk about the stresses that we're having or the struggles that we're having because it makes us seem weak or embarrassed. And when we do that, we don't share that with each other. We don't realize that other people are going through some of the same things that we're going through. So then that really puts up a wall between people who need to get help and their willingness to go out and get it and find it. You don't have to be a therapist. You don't have to be a doctor. You just have to be someone who can sit with empathy and listen to someone without judging the position they're in.
That's our 25th wedding anniversary.
We want to empower people to ask for help, but we also want to make sure that we are reaching out ourselves. We're expressing concern. We're talking about the things we notice. Hey, I noticed that you usually stick around and chat at the farm when we've wrapped something up, but right now you're always in a rush to get out. Is everything okay? Just showing that genuine concern, that genuine care for someone, and more importantly than anything is just listening. When agriculture organizations like Farm Bureau use that leadership platform to advocate for mental health and to bring awareness and priority to mental health, it teaches farm and ranch families that it's okay to talk about tough things. They show you that your health is a priority to them, your wellness is a priority to them, that you as an individual and as a farmer are a priority to them. It's not just your farm, it's not just your equipment and all the other things that go along with the farm. It's you, and they want you to be well. It allows people, most importantly, to connect to resources that they might need. They allow us to bridge that gap between people who need some sort of help and finding, you know, where that help is. All we have to do is make it okay to talk about stress, to talk about depression, to talk about some of these things that are tough to talk about right now.
If a friend is acting different than normal, I encourage you to see if you can lend them a hand, help them with a chore, or even just go on a drive to look at farm ground and fields. Make sure they're okay. Let them know that you're there for them. If you are down or depressed, I encourage you to ask for help. It's okay. We've been there before, and you're not alone. Let's end the stigma of mental health. We're all in this together.
Yeah, so true. We got to stick together. And hey, thank you for sticking here this week.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Have a great week.